Hey guys, welcome to the Kerbal Space Program with me, Brad73. We're jumping into a new Let's Play series, obviously called Kerbal Space Program, and these little guys here floating in space are our Kerbals, or they are Kerbals, not necessarily ours. Basically, this is a game we're just going to kind of jump into. I'm going to kind of show you. I've gone through played a little bit to kind of familiarize myself with the controls, but now we're kind of going to really start experimenting with the gameplay. But it's essentially kind of whoops, let's see, I'm going to name it Let's Play, which I think I already named my little, damn it, yeah, let's just overwrite that. So we're going to start anew. So basically, yeah, I mean, think NASA in a simulation game. We've got a couple things. There's a space plane hangar where you can actually build planes. Actually, I'll click on that. We'll go into the space plane hangar someday. And so you can build like rockets and everything here. And actually, we don't want to be in the space plane hangar because I don't want to build a space plane. I want to go back to here. The tracking station, this just gives you like a, I think it just opens up basically the orbital map. Yep. So this is our planet that we're on. It's called Kerbin. And we right click and we can rotate it around and zoom in, zoom out. There is the moon, or Mun. I'm just going to pronounce it moon. And then there's Minimus, which is kind of like another planet that's orbiting planet Kerbin. I think we can go, yeah, it's kind of like a big asteroid looking thing. Very interesting. But there's a whole little solar system that we can explore. And so let's exit out of here. And we're going to go into the vehicle assembly building. This is where you build all your rockets. So this is version, I think it's 0.19, so it's in alpha, I think, or beta maybe, but pretty much alpha. We're going to start off building some rockets. Now there's spaceplane cockpits, which we don't really want yet, and then there's a small command pod, which basically just has a crew capacity of 1, and then there's a large command pod, which has a crew capacity of 3. And there's also a lander pod, or lander can, I guess. And this is what you use to build your lander. So like if we want to land on the moon. So we're going to start off just building like a very, whoops. We're going to build a very simple rocket. Just something that'll actually, well, I guess let me talk about the different structural objects or the categories. So we've got our pods. This is what we have to have on the rocket in order to build a rocket. And again, there's like your space plane, there's like your normal orbital capsules, the landers, and these are more for like satellites, or if you're just wanting to send up unmanned space stations and things like that. You have propulsion, control, structural, aerodynamic, utility, and science. So obviously under propulsion, you've got, let's see, your fuel ducts, different fuel tanks. You've got your different rocket nozzles, which come in different sizes. And then there's also, fuselage bodies for space planes and rockets and stuff. So everything that's propulsional is going to be in here. Control, this is the SAS. I'm not exactly sure what SAS stands for. It's basically like a control module that'll kind of like an autopilot. And they've got a few different ones. There's like a small one, a large one. There's a basic. So let's see. Stability augmentation system, spin auto stabilizer, and sickness avoidance solution. Oh, so that's what it sounds like. That's what the SAS stands for. Whatever you choose to call it, it makes the ship stop spinning. So this basically just makes the ship stop spinning in circles like it is right now. The advanced SAS, let's see here, can't be trusted to keep the aircraft under control. The advanced SAS module addresses that issue by correcting flight controls continuously. It is highly recommended that crew members are kept unaware of the presence of such a device, as the experience shows that many Kerbals will see it as a challenge to their flying prowess. So this one is actually a little bit more advanced, and you can actually, once you set your heading, it'll actually hold that heading for you. Structural, these are basically like different things. We have detachment points. We'll get into that a little bit. The bigger things are the decouplers. I don't know why they have that decoupler up there and the rest of them down here, but we will need a stack decoupler for our capsule. This is so that it'll decouple it from the rest of the stack. And you also have some other things like tri-couplers and multi-connectors and blah 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 blue. So we're just going to build kind of a basic rocket. Let's see here. I'm just looking at, let's see, 0.91. Threshold 0.1. I'm just looking at the stats. Total mass 1.5. So this one actually looks like it's a little bit better. We need a fuel tank first. Oh, and I also want to put my control, I want to put my advanced SAS on here too. And let's get a fuel tank. We'll just get like kind of one of these guys. And I think one of those will be good. So let's see, structural, let's go back to structural. And this is where we can kind of do something cool. Like we could actually add different stages. So we could make like a 3, you know, we could do something like this. See how it puts a shroud in there automatically. Let's see here. So let's go back, let's get like, put all 3 of those on. There we go. And then like 3 of these guys on. And then what the other thing we want to do is go to structural, because what's weird is like the rocket can actually kind of like jelly around a little bit, and so you kind of want to make sure that you lock. There's these little structural strut things, yeah, the strut connectors. So we want to make sure we use a couple of these to make sure that our rocket doesn't jelly around too much. And oh, there's some symmetry controls down here. You can go up to like 8 positions for symmetry, and then this is angle snap, so it'll actually snap to specific angles. You can also see where your center of mass is, center of lift, which is the same place, and then the center of thrust, which you always want to be right down the middle of your rocket. So looks like a circuit board. Oh, that's weird. Let's see. So we can go to aerodynamic. We can put some fins on this bad boy. Let's maybe get some better. Let's see. These are all like plain wings and stuff. Yeah, these are the rocket fins here. So like we can say, okay, I want our fins there. There we go. And the SAS will actually control the fins. You'll see them here. Let's see, there's utility, there's just, these are all like rechargeable batteries and different things, docking ports, clampotron, more batteries, ladders, landing struts. Oh, and we do need a parachute. So we want, otherwise our Kerbal's gonna die on him when he impacts. Storage container, this is like a, kind of like a space station module kind of a thing. There's different gear for your rovers. Let's see, different, yeah, just different. I think that's like landing gear for a plane, like a space plane. Photovoltaic panels, those are essentially solar panels. Mobility enhancers, not really sure what that really is used for, but okay. Oh, I think it's a ladder actually. Yeah, it is a ladder. Okay. And then xenon containers. And then science, we have communications arrays, accelerometers, pressure barometers and things like that. So, all right, so we got our little basic rocket here, and I'm gonna see, get them down here. I'm gonna go back to structural, and we're gonna add some like a little launch tower kind of thing here. There we go. All right, so we're all set to go. Let's launch this bad boy and hope that it doesn't explode. Okay, so once you do that, you just click your the button to take you out to the launch pad. And this is kind of where my computer's a little slow, so I apologize, guys. It'll take a second to load up here, but with this rocket, we might be able to get into orbit. I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to or not. Now, a couple things. We've got this is like our attitude control. Got our G-force, throttle here. And these are the different stages. So first thing we have to do is throttle up. Oh, another thing that's kind of cool is this is like inside our cockpit. So we can see there's our boot down there. There's our hand on the other control. We can look around. And our throttle, we can even control the throttle from in here. We can even turn on the SAS. For action control. Okay, so we can actually fly it from in here if we want, but it doesn't look as cool. So let's do it from out here. So we're throttled up, and let's just count down: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the SAS turned on. That's gonna keep us pretty stable. We can turn it off, and you might see the rocket start to drift over time. But kind of lucky because this rocket definitely seems fairly stable. You can see our rate of climb, so we can actually throttle back a little bit to conserve fuel. And we basically want to conserve that fuel until we get up, far higher up in the atmosphere. Get the SAS off, so we're starting to drift just a little bit. Let's aim us out to the east a little ways. Turn that sucker on. Now we can really start accelerating. And then if we hit the M button, the map button, we can actually see, how high up we're going to go. And actually, don't want to go up that high. So we want to get up to about 100,000 feet. Actually, it's going to drop down a little bit. So we cut that off, and we're basically heading up. Now what we can do now, let's see here. So we're going to be out at about 100,000 feet, and what we can do is we can put in we want it to be close to this AP, which is our apoapsis, and that's currently our furthest point away from Kerbin. So we're going to add a maneuver. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this line out so that we're in orbit of Kerbin, just like that. So let's see. Okay, so we got 1 minute and 25 seconds until we're going to reach our apoapsis, or the peak of our. See, we're going up right here. So let's get out of the map screen, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to turn the SAS off, and we have to look at this blue reticle. This yellow reticle, that's actually our thrust vector, and that's the direction that we're actually going in, going in right now. And we want to be over here by this little blue thing, and that's the direction that we need to fire our rockets in order to get into the orbit we want to establish. So we're probably going to have to stage here pretty soon because, as you can see, we're getting low on fuel. And okay, so we're coming up on our fuel burn. For some reason, it's not showing us our estimated burn time. I don't know if it does that only after we start burning, but anyway, it doesn't show us that. So we're still on target here. And again, we can look up, look out at the sky. And unfortunately, I can't see what my... Okay, so 9. So let's start. So about 30 seconds burn. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a stage. What? I have no idea why it did that. Well, I guess we're gonna deorbit now. So yeah, you can see I haven't really, done a whole lot to. I'm still new at this game, so I don't know what I did wrong. What did I must have had the stages or something incorrect. So there's my rocket. All right, so we're gonna come back in. And eventually, once we get down to about, actually, what I'll do is you can speed up time. If you can speed, oh, you have to have the throttle all the way back to do that. If I can speed up time. So we can speed up time because once we get down to like 30,000 feet or so, is when we're gonna get like the cool re-entry effects. And oh, there goes my rocket past me. So we're slowing down. And good, that thing's coming in. Where'd it go? So there we go. So we're down to 11,000 meters. Oh, we got our parachute out. And so now we're just going to continue on down and splash down into the ocean. So I'm going to go ahead and end the flight. And let's see, we're going to go back to the vehicle assembly building because I don't know what happened to my stage. Oh, I know what happened. I didn't put a decoupler here. Whoops, I can't use that one. Way too big. Okay, now we'll be able to get into orbit. So, well, that last flight was kind of like a little John Glenn flight. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else we could do that would be cool. Ooh, I have an idea. We could also put, let's see, let's do decouplers here. And we could start off with some solid rocket boosters too. And that'll help get our speed up before we switch over to the fuel boosters. They have some different solid rocket. They've got some big ones. They've got some small ones, like these guys. Let's see here. Let's try some of the big ones because I don't really know how those are going to work, and maybe we'll get something spectacular because they're so close together. Maybe they'll blow up or something. Okay, so we got to go to structural again because we have to kind of like lock them down. this is important to do. Oh. Okay. So we're kind of building this big corny looking rocket. All right, let's hope that it works. Here we go. Look at this sucker. This thing better take off. Let's see. Efficiency. Stability enhancer. All right. Okay, well here goes. We're going to throttle up. Actually, it doesn't even really matter because with the solid rocket boosters, they're like full throttle. So, all right, so this is the first day. Oh, I have to take this, which is the decoupler for the launch stack. That's like these little towers with the red thing. So I need to make sure, otherwise we will blow up. So this is the first decoupler, which is down at the bottom. Then we go into the second stage, which is our 3 liquid fuel engines. Then the decoupler there, yep. I don't know if you can see it, but the decoupler right here starts to glow when we highlight it. And then our next stage, which is the next engine, and then finally the capsule at the top. All right, so here we go. 3, let's fire, launch. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and let's get the SAS turned on. And we got a good rate of climb. G-forces are nominal. And nice and stable. Throttle back to about 90%, and then so when we stage, we actually hit the space button, which will actually disconnect the SRBs, the solid rocket boosters. And here we go, and okay, there's staging, and then we'll fire the next engine. Throttle back to about 60% here. Still have a really good climb rate, and I kind of want to get, see there's like, 25% of the atmosphere is here, 50% is here, so I kind of want to get upwards of 15, I think it's about 13,000, so we want to get up to about 20,000, and you can even see our rate of climb is increasing too, so we can pretty much just keep the throttle at this level and even back it off just a little bit, because as the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner and thinner, we don't need as much thrust to get us up. Alright, so there's our apoapsis, and again we want to get this up to around 10,000, or I'm sorry, 100,000. Our control, we can actually control it from here, so we can even throttle up and throttle down from this screen. So what we'll do is we'll get it up to a little over 100,000 feet, or 100,000 meters. Here we go, there's 100,000. Okay, so we'll cut off, and actually let's hit the M key, take us back. So kind of still have a bit of fuel there, but we're literally going straight up. Okay, and again, so let's go back to our apoapsis, and we're going to add a maneuver. So we're going to try this again, guys. Zoom this out. What happens is the apoapsis and the periapsis, which is, I think, the minimum point, the minimum part of your orbit, you kind of want them, I kind of like to have them on either side. So there's 89, 120, and you can also kind of adjust this too. So 99, 111, that's better. 102, 108. 103, 108. There we go. All right. So we're going to be up at our apoapsis here in about 50 seconds. 50, yeah, right here, node T and T50. And so we need to get our spacecraft oriented properly. So we're going to turn off the SAS, and we're going to maneuver. That's what that SAS is there to help us do. Whoa. No. And it actually helps a little bit to have a reaction control system. We're going to have to start our burn here pretty darn soon. Okay, here we go. I'm going to kick on the SAS there. So now we're going to see the blue line increasing. Oh, looks like we're going to have to stage. So now we stage. Okay, there's our next rocket. Okay, and so we need to basically increase that. We want to make sure that we're thrusting along, or pointing at this blue spot here as much as we possibly can. It gets a little sensitive. Go. We basically want the blue line to match up as much as possible with this gold line, this other line here. Looks like we're a little bit off. Okay. Whoa. So, oh gosh, we're way too far away from the planet there. Let's see, how much fuel do I have? We burned up about half our fuel. Well, at least we're going to be able to do an orbit, though. So, yeah, if we speed up time, we can actually see that we're going to be doing an orbit here. So, going along 50 times. There we go. I think we can go a little bit faster there. There we go. And let's see, slow down a little bit. Now we're coming back over the launch site here, which is right down there. Now what we kind of want to do, let's go back, because let's deorbit now. So let's turn the SAS off. Now this is the trajectory that we're heading in, so we want to go and look at our retrograde vector, which is this yellow thing with kind of like the X in the center. We'll get lined up with that. No. And then we'll hit T to turn our SAS back on. And so what I want to do is I want to, we're going to do a deorbit burn, and I want to get as close as possible. I want to kind of try to overshoot the landing facility just a little bit, because as we get into the atmosphere, it's going to come down even further. Or I'm sorry, the atmosphere is going to slow us down a bit. All right, so okay, there we go. All right, so let's see how that's going to do. And up ahead, right over here, is where the launch center is going to be, I think. Yeah, I think it's right down there. And I'm not sure where the music went, but we just lost music. I kind of want to get over closer to the launch facility here. go. I'm gonna see if I can actually land it right on the money. We're coming up. We gotta do it quick. That's it, isn't it? Yep. All right, so here goes. Oh, we're not gonna be able. We're out of fuel, so we're gonna overshoot the landing pad. But that's actually where we launched from, right down there. So we're only 50 kilometers from there. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, turn that SAS off. I'm gonna point my capsule up, straight up, and then we're gonna decouple the stack that we're currently at. So hopefully that'll provide enough, downward momentum for the stack that it's going to burn up when we re-enter. We're down to 42,000 meters, so we're going to hit the space bar. That's going to send that hurtling towards Earth, or Kerbin. And we should start seeing the re-entry effects here pretty soon. Let's go into the cabin. And there's some re-entry effects there. I think we're going fairly slow, so we might not actually get a whole lot of re-entry effect. So we're down to 10,000 meters. 9,000. Yeah, if we were really hauling, you'd definitely see. I don't know what this abort thing is. Don't know what that is all about. All right, so 4,000. Once we get down to, I think it's 1,500 meters, the chute will deploy. Or fully deploy, actually. Or not. Or we can just die here. Maybe it's 500 feet or 500 meters. Oh, there we go. Phew. Started to sweat. So check him out, Damon Kerbin. He's like, yes, I didn't die. Brad 73 didn't kill me. And now we can kind of speed up time a little bit. You want to be careful not to speed it up all the way. Usually about, if we look up here, about half, 4 out of the, or 2 out of the 4, it's about halfway up. Because if you do it higher than that, I guess the physics engine can't keep up or something, and when it turns red like that, it's like you can, like, the chute can snap, or I don't know, all kinds of weird things can happen. So, all right, so he successfully splashed down. So let's go ahead and end the flight. And yeah, we'll go back to the vehicle assembly building, and we will plan our next launch, guys. All right, well, I'm going to end the episode here, and so come tune in for more. Again, this is a Kerbal Space Program. It's a game that's currently in alpha, or possibly beta. I think they are calling it alpha right now. But it's basically just kind of a build your own rocket and launch them kind of a game, and we're gonna kind of experiment around with it and see see what type of missions we can go on and all that good stuff. So check back in the next episode, and we'll see. We'll just launch a bunch of rockets and see what all we can get up into space without blowing ourselves up. So again, let's see. Oh, any more information? I'll post a link to where you can get Kerbal Space Program. I think it's just kerbalspaceprogram.com, but again, check the link. I think it was around $20. It wasn't too terribly expensive. To register it. There is a free demo out. I can put a link to the demo as well. And yeah, so this is kind of like my first impression, talking with you, playing along with you guys of the Kerbal Space Program. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to end the episode, and we'll come back in the next episode. And like I said, we'll see if we can launch some more rockets and keep our Kerbals alive. And yeah. So bye for now, guys. I'm Brad M73, and we will see you soon.